Hey guys, before this video begins, I want everyone to go down to the description section below and hit that link to go subscribe to Golden Scouter. The guy makes some really awesome content and some of the most original stuff this community has ever seen, so please make sure to go support him. But with that being said, enjoy the video.
Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball video. Today I have a very special guest with me, and I'm pretty sure you can tell just based off of the first few words I said. So before we get on with anything, let's introduce him. How's it going, reel to reel?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me back on. It's always a pleasure to be here. Based off the first few words I said, I like that.
Yep. But anyways, guys, today we're going to be discussing a little bit of Dragon Ball Super, and more specifically, why I think that Vegeta should be the one to knock out Universe 6. So before we actually got into this recording session right here, me and Reel to Reel kind of briefly discussed this, but let's go from the beginning. So we know from the spoilers that have been released recently, we know that Jiren is going to defeat a certain Saiyan in Universe 6. And that Saiyan is not Kaba, by the way. But what I do think, though, is that Kaba should be the last remaining fighter, and I do think that Vegeta should be the one to eliminate him. And the reason for this is because this would create a huge mental, moral dilemma in Vegeta. Not only would he have to take out a universe, he would have to basically kind of have a helping hand in erasing all of the Saiyans of Universe 6, at least to his knowledge, assuming that the universes are not going to come back. Because I'm sure right now, to the characters in the show, they're not expecting these universes to come back. Well, we as fans, of course, are kind of speculating that somehow they're going to get restored or none are really going to get erased. Some people think that they're faking us out, but what I think is that since this is being played off as being real right now, I think that Vegeta taking out Kaba and essentially Universe 6 would make for a really powerful elimination, especially since Kaba respects Vegeta. He admires him so much. Like, you can really see just from the first time they met again whenever the Universe Survival arc started. Like, Kaba was just like, Vegeta-san! Or Vegeta-sama! And Vegeta's like, huh. But of course you know that even though Vegeta puts on that facade, like, you know that he really does respect Kaba. I mean, after all, like, he was willing to show him the Super Saiyan Blue. He said, never forget this pain. Also, I think that this is a perfect time for Frieza to come in and kind of troll Vegeta in a way, because we know that Frieza is not completely loyal to Universe 7. We know that they kind of stabbed each other in a little bit, because like at the beginning, like Frieza was just like, maybe I'll give you this halo as a present. So there's already like this tension that was being built up before, and I think that right whenever Vegeta eliminates Universe 6, he'll probably sit there kind of morally conflicted, probably a little bit broken, because not only does he realize he's destroyed a whole race of Saiyans in another universe, but he destroyed someone that really respected him and that he actually had respect for. And so Frieza could come in at this point and tell Vegeta, like, huh, Vegeta-san, ho ho ho, you're not so different than me after all. I destroyed Saiyans, and now you've destroyed Saiyans. And then, like I said, like before we got into this call, perfect retort from Vegeta. Vegeta could say, you did this because you were afraid of our race, and I did it because I wanted to protect my universe and family. We're nothing alike. I mean, with all that being said, what are your thoughts about everything I just laid out?
No, I like that. It kind of pops me with the idea that like Vegeta and Frieza would have this kind of character moment. If anybody in Universe 7 needs to have a character moment, it needs to be Vegeta and Frieza, just because of how much animosity they have towards each other. I mean, Goku and Vegeta definitely have some kind of weird bond. Frieza and Goku also have kind of the same buddy-buddy bond, and then everyone else is just kind of there. I mean, everyone else has relationships, but no one else has that kind of butting heads situation that those guys have. When it comes to Vegeta taking out Kaba, I completely understand that. I really like that idea. Just kind of the fact that Kaba, at least at this point, overhit Caulifla Botamo, Vegeta, all of them, honestly. And we already know, based on the spoilers, like you said at the beginning, who is going to be probably taken out first, unless they see someone else just in the next episode or two, like, get taken out, but we probably know who's going to be taken out first. I personally think that it would be cool to have Kaba be out last, after Hit, after everyone else, and for Vegeta to do it makes a whole lot of sense given their character and their chemistry. But the idea of Vegeta taking out the entire universe, I feel like you get the same, emotional connection, the same kind of gut punch for the audience if he takes out just Kaba. I mean, he could take out some of the other cannon fodder people, but he has to take out at least Kaba. Even if Kaba isn't the last person, Vegeta kind of needs to be the one to take out Kaba if Kaba's going to actually get taken out at all. And I've talked about this before, that it's possible that Kaba's probably going to be the last man standing, just considering the fact that they focused on him so much before the build-up, and they just wanted to keep him fresh in our minds, and that's opposed to almost everyone else. They had to introduce Caulifla and Kale. They had to show that, Frost and Hit were still there, and they didn't focus on Vegeta, Botama at all. Those guys are basically just fodder at this point, along with everyone else. And then we got that pig guy. The only reason I don't necessarily see Universe 6 getting taken out anywhere close, and even if you have that situation where Kaba gets taken out by Vegeta, and like you're saying, that fan moment where you get Vegeta and Frieza having their own little kind of game or situation, or back and forth, it doesn't have to be the last person. Vegeta just has to declaratively, hit off the last remaining Saiyan, and it has that same gut punch where it's like, you just, you made them one step closer. If we win this thing, you doom them to die, and you were the last one to doom the Saiyans, and you have the same situation. The only reason, though, is because some of the TV guide leaks, the spoilers, suggest that Vegeta's going to go berserk on Universe 6 sometime in the next couple episodes. And the only reason I feel like we have to just sit and wait in the fact that Universe 6 might not get all eliminated way too quickly is because outside of Universe 4, there are 2 guys that they haven't necessarily shown that have been hiding in the shadows. And my only thought that they're hiding these people in the shadows, and it's not just like Universe 4 has 2 people they don't even see. There are other universes with people literally in the shadows, and I just think that those people are going to be more important as this all kind of, comes to a head. That's why they're not showing us to them. If they showed it to if they showed us them now, we'd just be like, oh yeah, and just write them off. These guys are being mysterious for a purpose. So yeah, I like what you're going at, and it doesn't necessarily need to be Vegeta to take out the entire Universe 6 team like you said. I still think you get the same emotional impact if he takes out Kaba, and Kaba is the last remaining Saiyan. When it comes to the other Saiyans, we've said enough. It's said, you and I both know, and I'm sure most people who are listening this far, if they're okay with spoilers, know that Jiren is going to be taking out Kale. And I guess in my opinion, one thing I would love to see is Goku taking out Caulifla. So as long as it happens in, Kale, Caulifla, Kaba order, I think it would have the exact same emotional impact.
I think so too, and you're very right on how the fact that they've been building up Kaba so much. And especially the way how you were saying it really is kind of a gut punch to the fans whenever Vegeta's kind of taking out Kaba and he's the last remaining Saiyan, and that act pretty much helps genocide them. Even though Vegeta's not necessarily the one pulling the trigger, he's kind of helping pull the trigger in a way, and that kind of makes it that much more impactful whenever that happens. Because Vegeta knows that it is kind of a necessary evil in a way. I mean, people have already brought up the fact that Goku and Vegeta basically kind of already helped eliminate tons and tons of people with Universe 9, of how the fact that they took them all out. But besides that, I think that it's the perfect time for Frieza to reveal to Vegeta that Beerus was the one who made him do that.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I understand where you're coming from, and I agree. There has to be a point. They brought it up, even if they brought it up as a joke, they brought it up enough, and they took it, they translated it from the movie, and they put it into the series proper. There has to be a point where that actually becomes something that is on everyone's mind, and they brought Frieza back. This is probably the only time left that they have to do it, where they reveal that Beerus had a helping hand, or wanting Frieza to actually blow up Planet Vegeta because he felt like the Saiyans were rowdy, and yada yada yada. It's interesting to me that they haven't already, but maybe they are saving that for something like this, where it's just like that idea and how that would affect Vegeta, at least in this tournament, and his reliance on Beerus. You know, the weird thing to me, though, although I do feel like it is like the perfect time, I don't necessarily see the point, because even if Vegeta hates Beerus after this, it would really need to be something there to set up the next arc, let alone something to actually affect this arc. I don't think that information is going to put Vegeta so off his game that he'll get eliminated. And I don't necessarily think having Vegeta be that much more hateful towards Beerus is going to affect this fight in particular. So I don't necessarily see the huge benefit from it, but it is a moment that the fans really need to see.
The reason why I bring that up is because Frieza's back now. I mean, if this was going to be revealed without Frieza being maybe the one to tell it himself, it might not have as big of an impact as if, say, it was just kind of casually revealed by somebody who's not really connected to those two characters. Mm-hmm. I do agree with you on it leading. It's kind of pointless if it doesn't lead to a new arc or something like that, but I do think that it could lead to a new character arc between those two characters. I think it could lead to maybe Beerus actually growing past just his selfish personality in a way. Like, not just because, like, Vegeta's pissed off at him or anything like that, but maybe Beerus might see the light that maybe he's kind of crappy and maybe he shouldn't be blowing up planets because they serve him really bad food or something like that. I think that it's actually a really good way for maybe Vegeta to explain his point of view, maybe for Beerus to actually connect with mortals more than just beyond food and all that. Like, because, I mean, we've already seen that Whis is kind of already, like, buddy-buddy with Bulma. There's been, like, 1 or 2 episodes where that's actually happened.
No, I understand. I agree with you. And it would be cool, although we haven't necessarily seen Dragon Ball do this, or Super at least do this, where they introduce something, or they say something that just kind of, they just throw that out there, you know, they throw something into the ether, and you expect that it's going to come back later. And the divide between Vegeta and Beerus would be absolutely epic. In fact, it could lead into some pretty sticky situations in future arcs that I would really love to see, considering the fact, you know, some of the stuff that we saw earlier on in the show, like his complete servitude towards Beerus, and the very fact that Vegeta is so much stronger, even if he understands, and he hasn't seen the Hakai. I don't think he's seen the Hakai. Goku saw it, at least in the anime portion. Maybe, you know, at some point after this tournament, he won't fear Beerus, especially if he's mad at him. So that would be a really cool character situation. It's just, you know, I don't necessarily see how it pushes this story forward that they're telling right now.
Well, I mean, it also goes to that one video that you and MJ did, and I'm going to link that in the description, guys. But that goes into the whole fact of, like, Vegeta could think, like, the gods themselves were afraid of the Saiyans. Like, they had to erase the Saiyans because they were that afraid of us. Mm-hmm. So I think that could lead to almost a positive character moment for Vegeta in that way, where he kind of gains more of a confidence boost because of that. But I think that it would make sense to bring that up again, because Vegeta does have that Saiyan pride. And yeah, if like these gods say that they destroyed the Saiyans because they were afraid of their power, that would reassure Vegeta just that much more, and he might not be afraid of Beerus anymore at that point. Especially like you said, they are a hell of a lot stronger now.
Oh yeah, and I really do think at this point, I mean, it's worth arguing with the fact that they could potentially, although the story doesn't allow them, I mean, just logically they should be able to compete with Beerus. So yeah, it would reaffirm, and I feel like there's a lot of mythology they could get into, like you're saying, if they do kind of reveal this to Vegeta and everything else like that. I think it would be really interesting.
It would, and there's so many ways that this could go, because even though, like, in my mind, Vegeta might be really mentally broken down from eliminating Universe 6, he might have that confidence boost if he were to learn that type of thing. If he were to learn that the reason why Beerus ordered Frieza to destroy the Saiyans was because Beerus himself was actually kind of taking orders from even higher gods, that they were afraid of the Saiyans' power. So to me, this could go many, many ways, but I still rest by my opinion that Vegeta should be the one to eliminate Universe 6, because it creates that moral dilemma. Like, regardless whether Vegeta feels bad about it or not.
No, I understand. I agree with you, and the idea that Kaba being the last man standing makes a lot of sense, and I've always liked the idea that Kaba is going to be the last person with a fighting chance in Universe 6. I just say, and the thing we have to keep thinking about is that they haven't shown us two of the fighters. At least we know they're there. We don't know what they look like, so that's not unintentional. You know, like, that is something that they want to keep from us. So if Kaba is going to be the last man out, like you and I are talking about, then I don't see it happening anytime soon, or it's just not going to be the case.
I don't see it happening soon either. I'd probably say maybe they're the fourth universe to be eliminated. Like, after they're eliminated, there's 3 universes. Like, I would probably say something like that would make sense, because for them to be like the second to last one kind of is a little bit expected, because everyone has been saying this is basically a battle between 6, 7, and 11. So I think that them being eliminated before like 2 or 4 kind of makes a lot of sense to me also.
Exactly.
Yeah, but is there anything else you want to add to this discussion before we kind of wrap it up for today? Because we've been going on for a lot. This has been a good one.
No, man. I've said everything I need to say, but thanks for having me on.
Yeah, definitely. There's no one else I wanted to discuss this topic with other than you. I actually had it reserved. But guys,
Nice.
make sure to sub to Real. He is a pro. I mean, he has it in his name. Productions. Makes awesome content, Dragon Ball. Make sure to also subscribe to his Real Talk channel. I'll leave that channel link in the description as well. Real Productions makes great Dragon Ball content, and then his alt channel makes really good content on movies, box office hits, TV shows, and more. But anyways, guys, tell us what you thought about this discussion. Was there anything that we missed? Are we retards? Are we geniuses? Just let us know all that in the comment section below. And with that, you guys have a great day, guys, and enjoy seeing the rest of the Tournament of Power.